Chullin Daf Kuf Lamed Beis, another halach lamaisa. If a daughter of a Levi has a bechar, you don't have to do pidyon haben. If there's a goat and a sheep that have offspring, so it's a kalayim. The halacha is that you have to give matnas kuna from the kalayim because there's a special reading in the pasuk imseh to be marba also kalayim. However, what about a koi, or some call it a kvi? It comes from a chay and a behema, a goat and a deer. So it's a different type of kalayim. Do you have to give matnas kuna for that? Now, a koi has similarities to behema and similarities to chay and similarities to both. It's similar to behema in the fact that the chaylev of it is also like a behema, because the chaylev of a chay is mutter. It's similar to a chaya that you have to do kisi adam. In other words, we're machmer on everything. It's similar to both, that the blood is asur and the ganasha is asur. So what about the matnas kuna? So according to chachamim, you chayiv just like you would be chayiv on a behema. Just there's machlokes, three-way machlokes. How much are you chayiv? According to Rav Huna Bar Chia, you only chayiv 50%, because at most this animal is 50%. Mother is a goat, father is a goat. Now, if you choshes zerav, and that's a whole other sugya, the kohen would have to come and prove that we are choshes zerav, and therefore you chayiv more. So hamitzim chaver levaraya. According to Rabbi Yochanan, you chayiv in all of it, because it says in the pasuk imseh, from the im, he's marba also a koy. Now, according to Rabbi Eliezer, who doesn't learn that drasha, he uses imseh to say you don't need, in order to be chayiv matnas kuna, you don't need both a seh and a shar. So he doesn't have any limo to say that you're chayiv. So therefore, he says you're completely potter. So we have you're completely potter, you're completely chayiv, or you're chayiv 50%. Mei zoiv chei zevach, according to Chachamim, that's how they learn that you don't need to shech both a seh and a shar in order to be chayiv matnas kuhuna. And according to Rabbi Eliezer, we already learned it out before. He learns out that the butcher is the one responsible to give the matnas kuna, and the butcher can't say, "Oh, go to the owner; he'll give you." Says the Mishnah, we know that a bechar has gedusha, and you don't give matnas kuna from a bechar. Ein gedusha chal al gedusha. So if a Yisrael, and this is according to the Maskana Gemara, if a Yisrael buys a bechar that has a mum from a kohen, and then this bechar gets mixed up with another 100 animals, if they're all owned by individuals, 100 different people, then each person could say, I don't have to give matnas kuna because mine is the bechar. Now, if it's owned by one person, so at most he'll gain that he doesn't have to give from one. However, if it's just a regular bechar that got mixed in here into the whole batch of 100, then each and every person has to give the matanos. Why? Because the kohen will say memanavshach. If you're claiming that it's a bechar, then give it to me. I'm a kohen, I want the bechar. And if it's not a bechar, then give me the matnas kuna. So either way, you'd have to give the matnas kuna. There are certain animals that you don't have to give matnas kuna, and that is if you shech the animal for a kohen or a guy, or even if there's partnership of a kohen and a guy, you don't have to give matnas kuna. However, you do have to make some sort of siman on the meat to show that there's a shutav here. And also, if you bought meat from a kohen and you said, I'm buying everything besides the matanos, you don't have to give matnas kuna. If you buy, and this we had yesterday, if you buy the innards of an animal and part of the innards is the keva, the abu masim, then you have to give that to a kohen, even though you bought it like that, and you cannot get a refund from the seller. However, if you bought it by weight, then you can get a refund from the seller. A butcher who's a kohen, if he's shechting for himself, he doesn't have to give matanas. But if he's shechting to make money, he's shechting for Yisrael, then he has to give matanas. If he has a store that's a permanent store, then he has to give matanas. And therefore, we're going to see, based on this halacha, in the following story, it explains why Rav Nachman was so makbid. If he said, I'm making a store, this is permanent, so immediately he's chayav b'matanas. If he didn't say that it's a permanent store, then he has 2 to 3 weeks. And once the 3 weeks comes, then we know that the store is permanent. There was a story where there was a very poor kohen, and he went to Rav Tavla. And Rav Tavla said, I have a great idea for you. Why don't you become a partner with a Yisrael? And tell the Yisrael, because I'm your partner, you don't have to give matnas kuna, and therefore we'll split the profits. Rav Nachman heard about this and he said, you have to give all the matnas kuna back to the kohanim. He said, but what about Rav Tavla? He says, if you don't listen to me, I'm going to take Rav Tavla out of your ear. It's a lashon in the Gemara, I'll take him out of your ear. In other words, forget about Rav Tavla, because once there's a store that's permanent, even a kohen is mechuyev to give the matanas right away. In general, if a person is over on loisa said that has a very big punishment like misa or kares, we don't have to give him another punishment and put him into a chayr. If a person doesn't want to be mekayim a mitzvah deraisa, a mitzvah asay, like shaking a lulav, building a sukkah, we hit him until his neshama comes out. What about a kohen who doesn't want to give matnas kuhuna. So we put him in chayrim, and if that doesn't work, we put him in chayrim again. Says the Gemara, there's a story where they put these kohanim in chayrim for 22 years, and eventually Rava was fed up, and he gave them a knas, and he said that not only is the foreleg matnas kuhuna, but from you it's going to be the entire thigh, the entire piece. And Rav Nachman took even their clothing, nothing to do with their animal, but he, in addition to their animal, he took the clothing away from them. In other words, he gave them a knas. It says in the Torah, V'nasan l'kayim, we learn from there that it has to be a chashav matana, a real nice matana. What does it mean? It says Rav Chizda, if we're talking about a small animal, then you give the zroya to one kayin, you give the keva to one kayin, and you give the l'chayim, the jaw, you split it up, divide it to two kayin. But if it's a very large animal, so you can divide each and every limb individually. So in other words, the zroya would be for two kayanim instead of for one. If somebody didn't go ahead and give matnas kuhuna, what happens to the meat? Can you eat it? Rav Yochanan says it's asur to eat like tevel. La'alachu we paskin that it's not tevel. Yet Taisus points out that it's still asur to eat. It says in the Gemara, in the Torah, it says ligdula. Ligdula means like chashivas. You're supposed to eat the matnas kuhuna with mustard, and you're supposed to roast it. And if somebody doesn't know how to do it, you don't give him the matnas kuhuna. Taisus points out that if somebody likes cooked meat more than roasted meat, then he is allowed to eat the meat itself. And whoever doesn't know, or whoever doesn't admit to the 15 avodas that the kohanim are supposed to do. In other words, he says Moshe Rabbeinu made it up. As you see in the list, Yitzikus, Blilois, Hazois, all these things. If he doesn't admit to even one of them, you're not allowed to give him matnos kuhuna. Have a wonderful day.